racing fans, welcome to a special Belmont Stakes edition of our Get Hot, Stay Hot podcast. Hi, I'm Peter Rotondo Sr., on hand with my co-host and partner, who is best known for having better skin than Brad Pitt, other than Lee Davis. On today's show, we have a very special guest, and no doubt, the most popular, talented, ingenious member of Team Rotondo, my son, Peter Jr., who, by the way, just a week ago, got married to his new, now lovely wife, Shona. So before we get into our analysis of the Belmont Stakes, let me ask you, son, how's married life after a week?
It can't be any better. I took the train down to see you guys this morning. I took the Amtrak down from Saratoga through Albany, made it down to Penn Station.
How long does that take?
It's not bad at all. It's like basically Shona dropped me off 35 minutes from the apartment to Amtrak in Albany, and then 2.5 hours I'm in Penn Station.
Oh, wow.
And I figured I'd upgrade, the business class this trip because
now he's married, you know what I mean?
No, because I don't want to make, I didn't know the people. I don't want to be around anybody, right?
Okay.
Nobody's on the train. There were 4 people. I had my whole car to myself.
Wow.
The whole car was empty.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, it's good. Came for Father's Day weekend, Belmont Stakes action, and staying with Mom, getting it all in this weekend.
Right. Get it all
so it's all
good.
good.
I picked them up in New York. As you know, Lee, I'm not the greatest driver in the world. Actually, the three of us could be, listed as the worst drivers in the.
But I'm the best of the 3.
No, you're the worst. Believe it or not. No, because you.
I don't get how I'm the worst.
I'll tell you why. Because this is what you do. I know I'm a good-looking guy, and you keep looking over all the time, and I you know what I mean. I guess it's natural. It's a natural thing for you to do. But you're supposed to keep your eyes on the road. Plus, you're always texting, and with two-way traffic, you're texting, and I'm thinking about getting in a head-on-head collision. I wish I had a nickel for every time we avoided an accident because I go, Lee, watch, what are you doing?
I know, but I have very good peripheral vision.
Have you ever been in an accident with him in the car?
No, never been in that. And that's my point. I keep bringing that up, but he wants to say, because he gets me out of every jam. So I go, but when I'm by myself, I never get into an accident. So
Right.
I
don't know. You can't win. You know that.
Whatever.
There's no winning there.
I give him the credit.
Let's not talk about driving. Let's not talk about driving ability, son.
Right.
What? I haven't had a car accident in 15 years.
Yeah, you haven't driven in 15 years.
That's true. That's a good point.
But anyway, how's everything? I tell you one thing, you look 10 years younger. What's the secret here?
You want me to really tell you?
This is a family show here. Let's
Well, you look nice and tan.
No,
and
I've been
everything.
working on the wedding tan
And you lift
for a
the
while.
weights. I noticed you got a little bigger.
We have a nice little setup up there, and Shona, we've been on this in the lake house for a while.
Okay.
So I work from there all day.
Nice.
And at 4:30, you go out and the sun is perfect for about 3 hours before the sun goes down.
No stress.
3-4 hours a day. It's very nice. And then, but now it's the heat of the season starting, right? Belmont's this weekend, and now every weekend I feel like until Breeders' Cup we got action.
Right.
Yeah.
We got action. Yeah, that's true.
Well, you're looking good. I think, we're looking pretty good ourselves.
Lost some weight?
Well, Peter asked us, actually, in the beginning of March, to go on a diet, to get into shape, so we don't embarrass him at the wedding.
Yes.
And we stuck to his plan, and I lost about 18 pounds, and you lost how many?
I lost, over the whole course of it, I lost 30 some odd pounds.
Right.
But probably from March, maybe 15, something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. That's pretty good.
So it was good. We followed it, and it was.
But originally we were supposed to be in Italy for the wedding, so the idea was you were going to be on the beach in the Amalfi Coast.
Right.
We can't.
They won't even let you in there.
Right.
They're going to probably weigh you before you go in.
So, to train for the Amalfi Coast, walking 2-3 miles a day on the Staten Island boardwalk is a good prep, I guess,
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, speaking about the boardwalk and losing weight and everything, I think I have to tell our viewers, our listeners, the story about this guy, Greg. Greg was on Lee's bowling team. Okay, this is going several years ago.
Strike Force.
Right, and And actually, by the way, Lee, you're a very good bowler.
Thank you.
And so was Greg. But Greg was a guy about, what, 300 pounds?
More than that, 350.
Okay, 350. And my point is, again, big, bulky guy. Right. So now, the bowling season is over. It's about a year and a half later. Lee and I are on the boardwalk, and who comes strolling down the boardwalk is Greg, and Greg is looking bad. Now, I'm not saying anything to Lee. He's wearing very loose clothing, and he's got to be about 155 pounds. So now I'm thinking, like a normal, rational person would think, this guy, God forbid, has got cancer, and he's on chemotherapy because he looks horrible. And Lee, and this is going through my head, and Lee, what did you say the first moment you spoke to him, face to face?
Honestly, I didn't think the way you thought. I thought he looked great, so I said, "Oh my God, Greg, you look great! I can't believe it. How'd you look? You lost so much weight. How'd you lose the weight?
You look better than ever." You told him.
You look better than ever.
And I'm thinking he's on his deathbed. So we're talking about two opposites, polar opposites. Now, the amazing thing about the whole thing was that Greg starts telling you that he's working out in the gym, right?
And again, I everything you thought was wrong. And the guy comes and he says, "No, I'm working out." Now the guy's, I'm going to tell you, right? The guy's a known liar. He's lied about a lot of things.
He's a pathological liar.
Right, but he's not going to lie about if he's dying. He's not going to tell me he's working out. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And so I just I thought, he looked great, and I wanted to. The clothes were a little baggy, but he looked.
But Lee, he said that he was a fireman. That was, the Twin Towers. He went into the building, saved so many people. The guy is an exterminator.
Right. He was exterminating the building while 9/11 was going on. And he was running out. Right. That's.
So I missed it. What happened? So is he?
So wait a minute. So now Lee is getting angry with me, and he says, "You don't know what you're talking about."
We get into a fight on the boardwalk.
Right.
I mean, like a real big fight where people not still walking by and they're hearing it. And I'm going, "You're an idiot. The guy looks great. Stop it. This, that." And he said he was working out. So everything you thought was wrong. So he goes, "I don't believe him anyway. I still think he's dying."
Right.
So I said, "You know what? I'll call my mother-in-law, who I haven't spoken to since I got divorced, but I'm going to call her because I know she knows the guy and his wife, and I'm going to find out." So I call Gail. I go, call Gail. Lee, is everything all right? Right away, she panics. She's hearing from me. She hasn't heard from me in God knows how long. So I go, "Yeah, everything's fine, but you got to answer me one question. Greg that lives next door, the sister that lives next door, can you find out, he lost 150 pounds, maybe 200 pounds, can you find out if he's dying or he lost it from working out?" And she goes, "I'll call you right back. Let me find out." Sure enough, now he's sitting there waiting. And again, I know deep down he doesn't want the guy to be dying. But I know him so long, he wants to be right so bad, which is sick, but whatever. Now she calls me back and she says, "No, him and his wife lost 150 pounds each. Wow. They've been working out, exercising, and again, I don't want to, I want to be right, and I knew I was right, but I never thought, it never even crossed my mind. But that's his negativity.
No. It's not the negativity, because about 3 weeks later, I see a guy that worked with Greg in his company, and I said, "Oh my God!" I saw Greg a couple of weeks ago. I saw how he looked, whatever. He says he looks terrible. He lost so much weight. And I said, "I thought he was doing chemotherapy." He says, "Peter, you're right. Any rational person," this is what he said, "would think that he was a sick man." I said, "My friend Lee thought he looked better than ever." So even being incorrect, I was right. The guy did not look good.
No, you were wrong.
Right. Exactly. He was so wrong.
You were dead
and that was
wrong.
it. And just some other idiot agreed with him.
We got to work with him.
And who knows how he manipulated the conversation to get the guy to say what he wanted him to say. That's another story. But I wasn't there.
But I'll tell you one thing, and it's true. I was so happy that I was wrong, because obviously we love Greg.
Where's Greg now? Where is he?
No, he's still thin. He never gained the weight back. I saw him in the gym a couple times before the pandemic, and he works out every single day, and he changed his life around. The guy just got tired of being fat, and that was it.
All right. Good for Greg.
Getting back to the wedding, we all were looking forward to go to Italy, the Amalfi Coast and everything. I just can't help but remember the time that the three of us went to England. We went, Lee, you won a raffle.
We went for the Gold Cup. You remember? Cheltenham.
Yeah.
We went for the Gold Cup.
But you won a raffle.
I won a raffle at a guy. I was playing golf back then, at work, we would take our customers, and they had a raffle after the tournament was over, the 19th hole. You have a couple of drinks. They raffled off 2 upper class tickets on Virgin Atlantic to go to Europe. Whenever you want, I guess a year or whatever it was. And they pulled my name out. I ended up winning, and that's how we all.
Well, we had an office in London, so we figured we'll make it into a business / pleasure trip. Right. So Peter came. And how old were you then? Jeez,
he was young.
You were young, a teenager?
Yeah.
I was 26, 27.
Well, but you didn't look 26.
Doesn't matter, but
that's
what I look like. He's his age.
So if you were 27, and
so
what are
he's
you now,
15
40
years younger than me.
So he was a teenager.
He was a teenager.
No, it was when the movie Woody Harrelson and what's her name? Natural Born Killers came out. Whatever year that was, that's what year it was.
Yeah, so it's like 93, 95.
So I was 17, 16, 17.
All right.
16, 17, right.
But anyway, we stopped in London for a few days. Then we went on to Cheltenham. But while we were in London, Lee says, you know what? I got to buy a nice pair of sunglasses. You know what I mean? We're going to Cheltenham. We're going to meet some of our clients from Europe. And I'm telling you, I want to look good. So we go into this high-end, sunglass place. And Lee, take it from there. What happened in the sunglass?
Yeah, it was like like a high-end, like a sunglass hut, but to an upper level. So I figured, let me go here and I'll get a pair of sunglasses. Maybe they could fit me. I've always had trouble with getting sunglasses. They never really look good.
And the lady was like a middle-aged woman, English woman,
nice girl.
Yeah.
No, she was young. She wasn't even middle-aged. She was young. A young girl, good-looking girl. So I figured, she'll help me, whatever. And we went and we tried on and we tried on and we tried on and try this and try that and try this. And
each time you said to her, how does this look? And she just gave a look like she didn't want to hurt your feelings. But
she said, it's not for you.
Not
Let's
for
try
you.
something else. Right. So I kept going, to different ones and I couldn't find. And now this girl works on commission. So I'm figuring eventually she's going to say, all right, she's going to look for the most expensive one. She's going to give it to and tell me, oh, you look great. My God, oh my God, the best class.
And then we're there now for 45 minutes. Right, at least, right?
At least 45 minutes. And now finally she just says, you know what? I got to be honest. You don't look good in any sunglasses. And
son, your face was not made for sunglasses.
Right, she said that, right.
British accent.
Those are the words, right.
I mean,
here's
a woman that her salary is dependent on commissions.
Well, you know what? I give her credit that she didn't sell out for the money, and she didn't want me to look like an idiot just so she could make money. So she said,
"You should have asked her to marry her because what woman would be that honest with you?"
You're right. No, none.
I mean, really. She was she was the best. But anyway, we go to Cheltenham, and I tell you, one of the greatest times we ever had. Pete, what did you think about Cheltenham?
Oh, it was so fun. And now, cause I go for Royal Ascot all the time, whatever.
Right.
But there's nothing like Cheltenham when it. Those jumps. I remember the time when we thought they were coming down the stretch, the final time.
Right,
and we went
like
into
mania. We
a full
go
whip.
into a full whip.
Yeah, and we're like, and then we started high five, and then they had to go around
again. And we were like, oh,
no.
we look like such idiots.
Right, because you go down to the track, and then people do that around the first thing.
Right.
That was us.
Right.
I also remember the one thing when we got on the plane in first class, upper class, whatever. We all changed into the sweatsuits that were underneath.
Right, and socks.
Yeah, but the three of us were in this identical sweatsuits.
Right,
flying.
typical Brooklyn.
Right.
I
can only imagine what we look like getting off that plane.
But I didn't want to. I loved it because you had your own DVD player,
right,
and socks, and then I go on the back. I get a massage. Back. They had a massage woman. Somebody doing massages in the back.
They call it a masseuse, not a massage. Just to clarify.
Masseuse.
Right, exactly. But anyway, we rented like a cottage or something, and there was a bunch of guys there. It was not only us three. It was some of our big clients from Bankers London.
Right.
And they were big horse players and big bettors. And we spent a great.
Met the Queen Mum by accident?
No, that was another time that I went.
That was
a different time.
We went to Ascot for a bachelor party.
Right.
Yeah, we went for Keith Dack's wedding, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we flew in. He had the bachelor party the day before at Royal Ascot. And we weren't in the royal enclosure. We were just in regular suits or whatever. And then all of a sudden the Queen Mum the Queen Mom came by in a golf cart.
She
We
was about
waved at her.
98 at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
She waved at us. We waved back. Well, we waved at her, and she waved back. And then I wound up getting lost in the royal enclosure and got thrown out. They were like, "What are you doing? I'm not supposed to be in there." Now, looking back, going the last couple of years, I understand why I got lost. But back then, I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Plus, we were so drunk. We took the red eye, and we got there, and we started drinking in the parking lot, champagne, whatever. Which now I understand is the car park and all that. I had no clue what was going on back then, but it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a great memory. Yeah. But we could have got arrested. You know, we were in the royal enclosure. Two guys from Brooklyn.
Right.
I mean, think about it.
Were you wearing sweatsuits then?
Oh, no, we were wearing suits, but, you know, everybody had a top hat on. We looked like, you know.
Yeah, you were out of place.
Yeah, I was out of place.
Right.
But when we went out one night at Shelton, we went to a nice Chinese restaurant, and you shocked
Was it Chinese?
Yeah, it was Chinese restaurant,
right.
and you shocked everybody because you started ordering like you're ordering in Staten Island.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah. The guy,
John Kinnear.
John Kinnear was like, listen, you know how much to order, and I go, listen, I've been doing this my whole life. I'm a one thing I can do is order food. I know exactly, how many people and whatever. And so he gave me the rein, and I went and ordered everything, and there was 15, 20 guys there.
Yeah, sure.
And I, did the math in my head. It just comes natural to me, and I knew exactly what to do. And sure enough, at the end, everything was eaten. Everybody was happy, and and the guy was amazed actually that I could do it. Like just off the top of my head.
You ordered too
right,
much
go,
food.
what are you
right.
doing?
Yeah.
I go, listen, trust me, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this my whole life. I'm a Chinese food expert. I'm Jewish. I know Chinese food. And he's like, all right, and he gave me the free. And out there, usually Chinese food's not popular. It's curry. Everybody orders curry out there,
right.
Which I said I'm out of my league with curry, but I'll do the Chinese food, and it worked out good, and everything went. Everybody's happy.
Well, that's great. Because, when it comes to food, that's our thing, especially the diners.
Right.
I remember when Peter was about 8, 9 years old. I used to take him after soccer practice. I used to take him for lunch at the Colonnade Diner in Staten Island. And Peter, like myself, we liked hamburgers medium rare, but we weren't into pickles. So I would say to the waitress, listen, 2 hamburgers medium rare on a toasted bun, please no pickles. Now, if it came with no pickles, I would be so ecstatic by it. I would, whatever the bill was, say it was $12, I'd give a $12 tip.
You doubled it.
I doubled it.
Right.
If she gave it to me with the pickles next to it and the pickle juice went on the hamburger bun, I still gave it 20%, but I wasn't a happy camper.
Right.
So
But you never returned it and got another
no.
one. No. Didn't eat it.
It was the action of, and I got very dramatic when I said, please, no pickles. My son was embarrassed. He was like 9, 10 years old. He said, Dad, what are you doing? Right?
Yeah, and of course I was, scarred, I guess, because you look at it, there was so pickles were like evil growing up. They were like evil, very evil thing. And then now I like pickles.
Right, you like them, right?
Right, it's like
probably a lot of things you like now because
medium rare. I
Right.
don't like
Right, you're
medium.
not a
It's a
medium
little
rare
too
guy.
medium.
Yeah, medium.
But I was kind of forced to have the
I'm sure
eggs only scrambled
soft,
soft.
right?
Soft.
Scrambled
Like,
soft,
God
right.
forbid
Right,
it was
the
anything else
medium
came.
Well, speaking about, I'm glad you brought up the scrambled eggs. I don't know if anybody's listening out there if you have the same problem that I have. You go to a diner, the waitress comes over, good morning, how are you? How are you, sir? What would you like? I'd have 2 scrambled eggs soft with an order of white toast and home fries. Almost always, and I'm talking about 99% of the time, I'd get the eggs, and I get the eggs and no toast.
Right.
And
And I gotta wait for the toast.
and I gotta wait for the toast.
Right, can't eat the eggs without the toast.
I have to have the toast and the egg in my mouth simultaneously, or I'll gag.
Right.
I got a couple of hang-ups.
issues, you have
I have some
some
issues. Okay. So now, for all these years, I'm going, and I'm very dissatisfied. But I'll still pay. I'll still give her a tip or whatever. But I figured a way to beat the system. And listen carefully out there. What you do is this. The girl comes over. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. What would you like? I'll have an order of toast.
That's it.
Once I have the security of the toast and feel like I'm in the fetal position in my mother's womb, I'll say, oh, by the way, I'll have an order of scrambled eggs soft. So I rather have, in essence, hot eggs and cold toast than vice versa.
Right.
Now, do I make
That
sense?
makes sense. Yes.
So I beat the system.
No, you figured out a
makes
way to get what you want.
Right.
Without having the issue, and I know I've had that issue too of ordering stuff, and you order.
My only suggestion is maybe you're going to the wrong diner.
No, every diner I went to, it seemed.
Well,
no, just about every diner I went to.
Right, it is true.
Maybe
A lot
it's
of
the wrong
diners
diner.
we go to. I mean, the diner. What about the diner we used to go to on the little diner that we went to? Mike's Diner, the little diner, where we used to be. The pancakes were so bad. Tell us
No,
about
the pancakes. You know what I mean? I found out that the pancake batter was a no-name pancake batter. It was nothing, and I couldn't eat it. And when I ordered pancakes, because I love pancakes, you pick up one of the pancakes, you get a hernia from it. So what I did was, God bless my mother, rest her soul, I said, Ma, do me a favor. Could you make pancake batter for a couple of, for 2-3 portions? And I said, she said, what do you want it for, Peter? Why don't you have it here? I said, no, I'm going to go to the diner. She said, what do you mean you're going to go to the diner? I'm going to go with your pancake batter, pay whatever the pancakes on the menu, and they're going to make my pancake batter. Right. She said, what are you, crazy? I says, maybe, but I love your pancakes, and I love the diner because I love the people. Right. You know what I mean? It's not about the food so much as the people. So I used to go to Mike's, and I said, do you mind if you do this? With a big tub, and meanwhile, they made the pancakes, and I was a happy camper.
All right, and thank God the health department never found out about that.
Right, exactly. But and then they asked us to be guest waiters.
Right,
remember?
We came this way. Oh, that was fun. We had everybody there. Remember? We did You were there. You came.
You came with your mother.
Your mother came,
right?
And, George and everybody. Yeah, no, it was good.
I remember.
Yeah, we had a good time.
The people that
I did, and you know what the best part about that was? I was just guest waiters. Nobody got eggs without the toast at the same time for the whole day.
Right.
Anything else could have been a mess.
Right.
But they all got their eggs and their toast at the same time.
You know what I mean? We practice what we preach. And, and speaking about that diner, how bad is the coffee there?
Oh, God.
How bad is the coffee? It's undrinkable. So, I mean, like when you see an alcoholic in the street, he's got the brown bag and he's got we go to Dunkin' Donuts, we put it in a brown bag and we sneak it into the diner because look, we
pay for the coffee.
We pay for the coffee. We order coffee. We put it on the side, and we drink our coffee because it's that bad.
It's all about handicap.
And we tried to tell them, there's a Vassalaros, the Greek coffee that's very good. It shows you we have no lives. We're looking up types of coffee that, good
brands, right?
And we came up with this Vassalaros.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He
didn't want to go for the money. And then we found out that's the cheapest brand that he's got. I mean, so we're right about, thinking that the thing was a cheap, brand of coffee.
Love it, so what
right.
Anyway.
But anyway, it is what it is. So anyway, what do you think we start talking about the Belmont Stakes?
That's it. Tomorrow.
What do you think?
Today.
Yeah. What do you think?
Right. What do I think?
Yeah, you want to give out your
my $100 betting strategy.
Betting strategy. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure who knows, but bottom line is
people know.
Well, yeah, a lot of people know. Every year I give a $100 betting strategy on Facebook, probably for like the last 10 years. So people, my friends who don't normally bet, have some action on the Kentucky Derby, right? That's where it started. Probably through the years we've had exactas, maybe horse to win. Not much has happened. They going into last year they were net down, whatever, but nothing crazy because it was
a few $100 a year.
Yeah. Exactly. Except last year we got lucky on the Derby. We won. The 100 turned into 15,000.
Right.
Then we lost the Preakness, and then the 100 turned into 2,100 on the Belmont.
Right.
So those people that won last year, it's like a free roll forever.
Right. They're good.
And obviously, I had a good triple crown last year. So now.
It's becoming a thing now.
It becomes a thing, and it feels like
it takes over.
Like you don't have that pressure because the pressure is off forever.
Right. No matter what.
Right, exactly. So I feel like when you don't have the pressure, you look at it a little bit different, and then brings me back to when I was a kid and used to hit trifectas all the time because I was betting my father's money.
Right.
Right. There was no pressure back then, and then I feel like probably slowed down for a couple of years. Anyway, so. Looking at the race, I think it's pretty obvious to me. The 6 there, 4 solo, whatever. He's going right to the lead with Jose Ortiz. He was
4 left.
4 left. 4 left.
Yeah, 4 left.
Yeah, the 6. He was supposed to be in the Woody Stevens, if you recall.
Yes, which
and
is
which is a sprint. And they were like, the field was coming up relatively weak except for Tiz the Law. They said, screw it, let's take a shot.
Take a shot.
It's 1 turn, mile and an eighth, and it's an extended sprint, some might say. So let's take a shot. So he's going to go to the lead. I think the one Tap It to Win is going to sit right behind him second. He's coming off a huge race last time at Belmont. Third race off the freshening. Mark Cassie, who's won the last 2 Triple Crown races, technically.
Right,
He won the Preakness and the Belmont last year.
Right.
One with Worrell Will off a 2-week layoff after the Derby. This horse loves the track. He's a new horse. He had a problem last year. We throw those 2 races out. He's like a freak, right? So I think he's going to get a nice trip. I think people can think the pace is going to be a little faster than it is. I think it's going to be a little slower than it's going to be. So I like him second. I like Capit to win second. I think Tiz the Law's, we're rooting for him. Jack Knowlton, funny side, connections.
We like him.
We want to see him run big, Barkley tag. My only thing is his numbers are there, everything's there. But those Florida horses he ran against, none of them have turned out any very good.
Right.
So, sometimes those horses that peak in the spring aren't there in the summer. And now I'm looking for the horses getting better with every race. And that brings me to the 10, Pneumatic. And then Lee and I think I'll let you talk too, but I think he's going to get the perfect trip.
Right.
Sitting on the outside. Last time he was stuck on the rail on the lead. That's not going to happen this time. He's going to sit 4 or 5 lengths off and make that what I believe is an early move. I think he's going to make a little bit of a
move before Tap It.
Exactly.
Before Tiz the Law.
Right.
Exactly. You got to make the move before Tiz the Law.
Right. And I think if that happens, and then he's got a shot. Try to open up and see what happens. But those are my 3, and I think Modernist will plod along and maybe get a piece. Maybe if one of those don't run, one of them bounces or something happens, maybe he gets a piece. That's really where I see it. I
kind of agree with you.
What do you think?
I agree with Peter. The Tap It to Win and 4 left are going to go out, set a pace, whether it's fast, slow. It's going to be that's the pace. And Tiz the Law is going to get a good trip, obviously, and I think Pneumatic's going to get a nice trip. And I like the fact that Pneumatic is on the outside of Tiz the Law, because then he could kind of gauge. And you're talking about Asmussen and Santana. Together, they're very good. The connections are amazing. So I'm very comfortable with that. And he's going to be a price, which everybody forgets. At the end of the day, for me, it's all about value. I'm always looking to try to get that, that extra, the extra odds.
Yeah.
So, listen, I made 10-8, 2-1. I think Solo Valente will pick up pieces late, maybe get 3rd or 4th, and maybe if Johnny Velasquez can hang on. That's how I made it. I made it 10-8 to 1, and that's gonna be my superfecta box and key, and trifecta box and key, and then I'll make a win bet on the 10. What about you, Peter?
Well, this is going to be the first time in many decades, or ever, that the Belmont Stakes is not going to be run at a mile and a half. Now, I'm the self-proclaimed king of the Belmont Stakes. I did some research on my picks over the years. It shows you how old I am. In 1968, my first Belmont Stakes winner, Stage Door Johnny. I've picked 22 of the 52 winners since 1968. Incorporated Reva Ridge, Secretariat, both Forbes, Affirm, Coastal, big price horses. I had Victory Gallop and Touch Gold to beat the. Victory Gallop beat. Real quiet, and Touch Gold beat Silver Charm. So I felt like the Grinch that stole Christmas in those 2 Belmont Stakes.
What about when you had Sarava?
Sarava at 70 to 1, and I was told by many, you may have lost it. It's over for you.
Well, I told you that when you picked.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to mention it, but being that you did in 2011.
I didn't want to mention it. He's got notepads full. Literally pages of notes.
No, I get the winners, but I wasn't going to tell I wasn't going to tell the story. Ruler on Ice. Molly McGill is a lovely girl. She's Bo Derrick's niece. She interviewed us before the Belmont Stakes in 2011, 9 years ago.
Right.
And Joe Bartelli was there and yourself, and they gave their picks and everything. So when I gave my pick, Ruler on Ice, who was 23 to 1, with Jose Valdivia Jr. aboard, Kelly Breen Jr., the trainer, they said, Peter used to be good and everything, but he's old now. He's 60 years old now. The game passed him by. Yada yada yada. Who wins the race? Ruler on ice.
And we went crazy. Remember that? We were jumping all
But
over.
one of my favorite Belmont Stakes is, I have to bring this up, Peter. I hope that you're not going to get aggravated, but it was 2017. Both Lee and I like Tappert. So just picture the
Who
scene.
I picked in the Derby. But
Okay, all right. But we're at Belmont Park. It's about 20 minutes before the race. We're with two NBC sports executives, and they said, Peter, by the way, I didn't ask you. Who did you like in the race, my son? And he says, I really love Gormley in this race. I said, here's a text I sent out 3 days ago about Gormley. I said, if Gormley wins the Belmont Stakes, I'll run around Belmont Park naked. So now, picture the scene. They're coming around the far turn. Gormley starts making a big move. My son's right alongside me. Instead of rooting him, come on, Gormley. He's going, get naked. And I'm dying over here, right? And thank God, Tapper came up the inside and up to win the race, I think, by a couple of lengths. Todd Pletcher, Jose Ortiz, thank you very much, because I wasn't in shape at that time. It would have been a pretty sight to see me naked around the track. But anyway, getting back to this race, I'm going to go with number 9, Dr. Post. He's trained by Todd Pletcher. He's a son of Quality Road. He only raced once as a 2-year-old, and actually went off at 50 cents to $1 in a 5.5 furlong sprint where he finished 4th by 5.5 lengths. He had trouble in the race, a non-eventful race. He returned 8 months later at Gulfstream. He won a 7 furlong maiden special weight race in 7 furlongs, going 122-1. And he earned a 96 buyer from the 12 post. He's got the 9 post here. And as you know, the Belmont this year is 1 1/8 miles, 1 1/8, and a mile and an eighth.
Also known as a mile and an eighth.
Oh, yes, I know, but I'm tired of talking. It's been 35 minutes. Again, I'm 71. So I make one mistake and they both jump on me. I mean, I did the whole show over here, without a problem, and now all of a sudden, I 1 1/8. Okay. Anyway, having said that, they interrupted me here. But he came back a month later and won the Unbridled Stakes at a mile and a 16th, and won without exactly the most smooth trip that you could have. Sure. So I look for him to sit 5 or 6 lengths off the pace and make his move nearing the far turn. I think he's going to get the money. But again, as my son said, we're hoping for Tiz the Law because we're friends of Jack Knowlton. He's a real good guy, funny side, good people, Saratoga stable. So again, there's a lot of races you can bet in life. I mean, as a handicapper, I always try to beat the favorite. My value pick, and it's not going to be a big value. I won't feel bad at all. In fact, I really believe, because this is the way I am. If the 8 and the 9 are coming down the stretch together, I'll go for Jack Knowlton.
Well, you don't even have to, because you run second anyway every time.
I run second, that's right. And anyway,
not in the Belmont.
Right,
Although the Belmont's a mile and an eighth.
Right.
Mile and an eighth, the 1/8 mile.
I have a built-in excuse, fans. This is a mile and an eighth, not a mile and a half.
It's like you got a free roll.
Right. And actually, I'm going to be handicapping during the Belmont Stakes, the big card that they have. I'll be handicapping Louisiana Downs. So in between races, why don't you tune in, go on Twin Spires, and watch me handicap $5,000 maiden races at Louisiana Downs, which, believe it or not, are very competitive. I've been doing it now for.
And there's some value.
And there's some value, and it's.
You hit a exact, a triple and exact, a nice.
Yeah, so I'm having a good time doing it. The announcer is a real good guy, John McCary. He's a real good handicapper and a real good announcer, and I'm having some fun. So if you get a chance, try to tune in, and in between the big races here at Belmont Stakes.
Let him know how you think. Let him know what you think. If you don't like what he says, tell him. Tweet. No,
don't say anything.
Send it to him on Twitter. Tell him.
Don't tell him.
That's how you got to get it going.
That's it.
Be kind. Be kind. I'm an old man. Be kind. Anyway. Anybody else got anything?
I would just say that we're also going to have a live stream. NBC Sports, obviously no fans at Belmont tomorrow. So NBC has reached out to a bunch of different folks that know people that are throwing parties. And since we're going to have a bunch of people here at Lee's house tomorrow, we'll have a live stream right into the TV truck of us all day. And in theory, they could go to it at any point, and they might see us on NBC screaming at the television like the old
that would
days.
be fun.
So tune in to NBC starting at 2:45 Eastern time for the Belmont Stakes coverage.
Wrap it up.
All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. We'll see you next week, and hopefully get lucky at Belmont and Louisiana Downs.
And always remember, get hot and stay hot.